Jasmine Crockett running for Senate down in Texas was an answer to a prayer. And it didn't take us long for us to see the fruits of that effort. It started with Jake Tapper, our favorite teleprompter reader over at CNN. I'm sorry. That's right. Jake Tapper, the last important, serious journalist in Washington, D.C. I forgot. Jake Tapper had Jasmine Crockett on his set. And, well, they started out with the curious story behind that announcement video of Jasmine Crockett's we showed you yesterday. It just shows her with the soundtrack of Donald Trump criticizing her. Yeah, watch what she had to say.
Joining us now is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. So congratulations on your announcement.
Thanks.
Your official announcement is just a video of you and an image of you while insults of President Trump of you play in the background. Why that decision? I mean, one of your opponents, Tallarico, he had a video, him with constituents, him with Texans. Why you solo?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. Number one, I wanted to do something different. Because number one, in order to flip the state of Texas, we're going to have to do something that we've never done. So I wanted to stay on brand with the fact that we would be different. I also wanted people to understand who the president sees as a real threat, and it is me. He also made it clear a number of times that he sees me as a leader. Those were his words, not mine. And so I wanted to do that. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to do a real announcement with actual people, nothing that was staged. I wanted the real people, and so it had to be in that moment. So I also wanted to make sure that we delivered a full speech that had all the substance there. So on that same day, if you were paying attention or if you were interested, you got the full meat of what it is that I want to do as the next senator in the state of Texas, as well as I did this with the people right there at home in my district.
Okay, so a couple of things here. I just want you to know what you did, because you may not be reading between the lines or following these things as closely. You heard our friend Jake there mentioned that her primary opponent for the Democrat nomination down there, a fellow congressman, he did a video announcement where he was standing in the bed of a pickup truck with a church in the background and all these people around. And he was talking about issues and principles and ideas. And I mean, it was, it was fine. It was fine. But it was a very, sort of dramatic video, and it starts close to him and then it zooms out and it shows all these people, all these Texans, dressed in their jeans and their plaid shirts, listening to him as he talks about all the things that matter most to them and how there's too much divisiveness in our politics and he's there for ideas. And so it's all that stuff, right? Did you hear how Jasmine Crockett there just said how she put out her video? She wanted to do something different, but then she did an appearance with the people from her district, because what now?
And so I wanted to do that. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to do a real announcement with actual people, nothing that was staged. I wanted the real people, and so it had to be in that moment. So I also...
Yeah, you see, that's a bit of shade there that she's throwing on her opponent. This is going to get ugly between these two, just so you know. And we like blue on blue violence. This is going to be fun, because she's basically saying that her opponent is phony. I wanted to do something real. I didn't want to do something staged. She's claiming that video of him in the bed of a pickup truck with all those people watching him give a speech, that it was staged, which it probably was. So we like that, because we want this to get ugly. We want her to bare her claws. We want her to destroy everybody else who's running against her, because she's got a bit of an ego, right? Also, did you notice that the reason that she says she put out that video of Trump criticizing her, and that was the only voice you heard in the entire ad was just Trump saying these things? She put it out there because, well, he's called me a star. He said that I'm the star of the Democrat Party. Well, I think she needs to understand that he didn't mean that as a compliment. Okay. Does she think that he was praising her? So when Jasmine Crockett behaves the way that she behaves, which is incredibly, at best odious and obnoxious, at worst ridiculous and worthy of satire and your derision and laughter, we like to say, look at her. She's the star of the Democrats. That's it. She represents the Democrats right now. She thinks that was a compliment. That's amazing. In fact, it's even more amazing. I'm going to show you a story that actually suggests that the Republicans have engineered this whole thing. If Republicans are all like, yeah, I'm real happy Jasmine Crockett is running. They're happy because this was their plan. I'll show you in a second. This is going to be amazing. Just wait. But more on this interview, because some of Jasmine Crockett's most odious and obnoxious statements in the past are coming back to haunt her. Not the one she says about you and me because we're Republicans, because of course Jake Tapper would never hold her accountable for that kind of thing. No. She said some mean things about Hispanic voters in Texas. And so here's Jake Tapper. Just so you know, this is not Jake Tapper holding her accountable. This is Jake Tapper helping her clean up the mess. This is day one of her, after her announcement. And Jake Tapper is there saying, okay, this is going to hurt you, so let me help you clean it up here so that you can have it behind you going forward. This way, nobody can use it against you. And I don't think it did the trick. Watch.
Let me ask you about a quote that you've made that has some Democrats worried about your ability to win statewide. In a December 2024 Vanity Fair profile, you talked about, quote, and I'm going to read a lot of the quote just to put it in the context, quote, all the complexities within the Latino community. The immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all, and I want no more y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would stay with y'all, but I don't want y'all coming to my new home. It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Now, about the time that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong or Trump's immigration policies.
So I don't believe that the people that voted for Trump believe in what they're actually getting. That is number one. What Trump said is that he was going to kick out the bad guys. And that's what I was talking about. I've been down to the border. I've been down to South Texas. I've campaigned down there. And so I am talking about exactly what was going on when I was down there on behalf of the Beto campaign. In fact, when he was running for governor, I was sent as a surrogate. And I said, talk to me about what is going on. Why is it that they believe that they can win Latinos down here? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And there were people that were saying that they had fought and they had done everything the right way, and that there were bad people that were coming that were doing it the wrong way. And so they were saying, no, we left. And I mean, when you think about people that are leaving asylum, they are leaving areas and situations that they feel like are harmful to them. So yes, they're like, no, I don't want to be in this dangerous situation. And that's what I meant. But at the same time, I knew what Trump meant, because Trump had a record. Trump had a record of locking up kids and putting them in cages. So I knew what Trump meant. And so that's why it wasn't making sense to me.
Okay. Now, first of all, if we did a whole interview and segment on the issues politically that just don't make sense to Jasmine Crockett, we're going to be here all night. At number two, the issue that Jake Tapper raised at the beginning was some Democrats are concerned that you're going to get hurt in the general election because you said some things like, Latino voters that vote for Trump have a slave mentality. And then she was supposed to clean that up. Do you think she cleaned it up? You know what? We gotta go through this bit by bit, if you don't mind, because this is 2 minutes of glory.
Let me ask you about a quote that you've made that has some Democrats worried about your ability to win statewide.
By some Democrats, I mean me and my friends.
In a December 2024 Vanity Fair profile.
She's a congresswoman in her third term from the House of Representatives, and she's getting a Vanity Fair profile. The First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, now finishing her 5th year as First Lady of the United States, has never had a Vanity Fair profile, but this one, okay.
You talked about, quote, and I'm going to read a lot of the quote just to put it in the context, quote, all the complexities within the Latino community. The immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all.
Can we just relish and enjoy Jake Tapper consistently repeatedly saying y'all because he wants to quote the congresswoman accurately. So he keeps saying y'all. Does anything ever sound as awkward as Jake Tapper reading Jasmine Crockett's word and saying it in the, original?
And I want no more y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would stay with y'all, but I don't want y'all coming to my new home. It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Now,
okay, so before you hear the answer, when she tries to spin this, understand the quote right there. She's not talking about some Hispanic voters. She's not talking about a segment of Hispanic voters. She's using the word y'all, which sort of part of y'all, the back part of that contraction is all. And the last line, it's almost like a slave mentality that they have. Who's they? Well, they is all of them, right? That's literally what she said. All right, so here we go.
About the time that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said.
That's exactly what that said. I mean, literally, that's exactly what that said. And now here's Jake. Like I said, this is trying to clean things up. Jake is not giving her a hard interview. Jake is trying to help her clean this up. And also, Jasmine Crockett will be able to use this interview in the future if anybody else wants to raise this and actually ask the question properly, or actually hold her feet to the fire and actually hold her accountable with some follow-up questions. She can say, oh, I've already dealt with that, asked and answered. Yeah, Jake Tapper, he, are you kidding me? He grilled me on this stuff. I already sat with Jake Tapper. He already did. So no, we're going to move on. We're not going to keep dwelling on these issues in the past. See, this is what they do. This is what they do. Okay. So she just said, oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say all.
At all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong or Trump's immigration policies.
So I don't believe that the people that voted for Trump believe in what they're actually getting.
Okay, so you heard Trump, Tapper there, trying to help her. Oh, no. Of course, not all of them. Just the ones that voted for Trump. And then did you hear he almost slipped? The ones that voted for Trump for his strong border. Ooh, I can't call them strong because that's actually positive. Oh, okay. I'll just say Trump's border policies. Did you hear that? Did you catch that? That's beautiful. All right. But now Jasmine Crockett needs to clean this up. And the only way she's decided she can clean it up is to call all of those Latino voters in Texas that voted for Trump ignorant. And that she's way smarter than them. Oh, no. The whole point is I don't think they knew what they were getting. See, they voted for Trump, but he fooled them. Didn't fool me. He fooled them.
That is number one. What Trump said is that he was going to kick out the bad guys. And that's what I was talking about. I've been down.
She then goes on to talk about how she's been to the border. She's been a surrogate for Beto. So that, hey, you did a hell of a job there. She was a surrogate for Beto. Beto goes down in a stunning, humiliating defeat. And so now she's decided I can do it better. This is just so glorious. It's going to be fantastic. But that whole thing, I keep hearing this over and over again. Oh, Trump said that he was going to deport the bad guys. Just the bad guys. It was just going to be the bad guys. Trump was just going to deport the murderers. Okay, so issue one on that, there's a concession there that Biden didn't deport the murderers, that Biden didn't deport the bad guys, that Biden didn't deport all of the thugs who are wreaking havoc. So all the Democrats now who say, listen, Trump is going way beyond. He just told us he was going to deport all of those murderers and rapists and pedophiles and thugs that Biden and Kamala and Alejandro Mayorkas led in. They refused to deport them. Trump said he was going to deport them. And well, we were in favor of that. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Okay. So they act like they were okay with Trump deporting the bad guys. But let me just correct the record. Trump never said he was going to deport the bad guys. He said he was going to deport, say it with me, the criminals. The criminals. And as of now, all of ICE's efforts in seeking out people who are criminals, who have deportation orders, should not be in this country, all of their efforts in trying to seek them out, apprehend them, detain them, and deport them, yes, it has also meant that when they go into a community and they find one of these criminal illegal aliens in the house, well, they do basic policing exercises there. They actually follow basic police protocols. Everybody in that house or at that workplace or in that parking lot at Home Depot, everybody is detained. Everybody is searched. And if you are a non-criminal who is also an illegal alien and your only crime is violating our borders and immigration policies, although you're actually violating other crimes like working in this country, getting paid under the table, maybe you've got identity theft, there's a whole host of crimes that continue there. But let's just say you don't have a criminal record. But if you're there and you're in the same space as a criminal and you're also here illegally, yeah, you're going to get detained and you're going to get deported too. That's how this works. This whole idea that Trump promised he wasn't going to, the bull. He never did. He said he was going to go after the criminals. That's exactly what we're doing. And other people are getting wrapped up. But get this. This is my favorite thing. And still, the American people support the president's efforts to deport illegal aliens. He still has the majority of the people on his side. But the NBC News investigative journalists over there, they put out a stinging, blistering story here that is supposed to damage the Trump administration. Take a look at this. More than a third of the roughly 220,000 people arrested by ICE officers in the first 9 months of the Trump administration had no criminal histories. They put that out there like a gotcha, like this is despicable. This is horrible. Can you believe this? Can you believe what Trump has done with the illegal immigrants? This is horrible. And you look at that, and I think of two things. The first is, so a third of them, doesn't that mean that 2/3 of them were, in fact, people with criminal histories? I mean, that's exactly what we want, isn't it? And yes, if a third of them also got caught up in there, well, I'm sorry. Maybe they shouldn't be here, and certainly maybe they shouldn't be hanging out with criminals. So the first impression of this gotcha moment is, so 2/3. So what you're saying is 2/3 did have criminal histories. That's number one. The second, 220,000. Huh. Thought we were doing better than that. Let's step it up, boys. Let's step it up. All right. So as you know, yesterday we told you how happy we were that Jasmine Crockett was running for the Senate in Texas, and that Colin Allred, the moderate, reasonable guy who actually came within 2 points of Ted Cruz in 2024, was forced out of the race. So he couldn't run in 2026, where he had some better options, some better winds at his back, and maybe even a blue wave working in his favor. But he got pushed out for Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, we were pretty happy about that. But we're not the only ones. Why is this man smiling?
Absolutely delighted that Jasmine Crockett is running for Senate in Texas. I think it's one of the greatest things that's happened to the Republican Party in a long, long time. She is the face of the Democratic Party. She and Mamdani. Good luck with that. I want her to have the largest, loudest microphone that she can every single day. And we look forward to having that election down there. We are going to elect another Republican senator in Texas. Texas is a red state. The people of Texas are common sense Americans. And what Jasmine is trying to sell will not be purchased by the folks of Texas. That is my prediction. Yes, yes.
There you go. All right. And he's not the only one. That sentiment was backed up by none other than Donald J. Trump.
Well, she's a low IQ person. I can't imagine she wins. Maybe she'll get the Democrat nomination, but I think it's a gift to Republicans. She's a terrible representative. I watched her for the last 2 years. I can't even believe she's a politician, actually.
It's a gift to Republicans. That's not entirely true, though. So here's the story behind the story. It's not a gift to Republicans. Republicans, I mean, unless you call a gift that you purchase for yourself a gift. I guess, do you do that? Sometimes I do that. If it's my birthday and I know no one's going to get me the thing I want, I just buy it for myself. Hey, this is my birthday present to myself. Okay. And by that description, yes, it is a gift to Republicans, but it was given to them by Republicans. Look at this headline in this AstroTurf recruitment process. National Republicans propped up Jasmine Crockett to push her into the Senate run. They did this on purpose, and they actually sort of cooked some polls to make it look like Jasmine Crockett was way more popular than she was. The NRSC, that's the National Republican Senate Committee, started including Crockett's name in polling and conducted a sustained effort to get Crockett, the party's preferred candidate, to run into the race. They actually engineered this. They started polling the state and releasing the polls. And, they were polling, Allred's name, and they were polling a couple of other congressmen. And then at one point they said, hey, let's just throw Jasmine Crockett's name in the poll. Let's just see how she's polling. And they kept consistently putting Crockett's name in there. And then they started releasing the data that showed that Crockett was doing pretty good. And she took the bait. And she pushed Colin Allred out. It's glorious, actually. So, yes, I think most Republican observers and analysts are pretty excited about Jasmine Crockett. Selfishly, because it's not my job to help anybody win an election. Please, I'm not paid enough for that. It's my job to comment on these things, analyze them, give you some context, give you my opinion, get you talking, and maybe make you smile, and if I'm lucky, laugh a little bit about all of these things going on. That's my job. And from my perspective, oh, hell yeah, I'm happy that Jasmine Crockett is running. She's fantastic. We might have to do a daily segment on her, right? And if you ask Mike Johnson and the President of the United States, they seem pretty happy because they think no matter who the Republican nominee is going to be, she's going to be easy to beat there because she's extreme and she's odious, and that's just not where Texas is right now. See, but here's the problem. Who are you going to believe about the future of Texas voters? Are you going to believe me, a conservative talk show host, podcaster, streamer, just some guy with an opinion? You're going to believe the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson? You think he knows about politics and winning elections? Who are you going to listen to? You're going to listen to Donald Trump, a guy who's won the state of Texas 3 times now in presidential elections, who understands the electorate and the issues that matter most to a deep red state like Texas. You're going to listen to him? No. Come on now. If you want to know what's really going on in Texas, everybody knows who you want to ask. You want to ask an old 80-year-old Marxist born in Brooklyn who now lives in Vermont. You want to ask Bernie Sanders. Bernie, tell us about Texas.
Texas has been this kind of white whale for Democrats that you caucus with. Obviously, you rightly noted you're an independent. Do you think that Democrats could actually win a Senate seat there this time?
Don't get me going on Texas. Texas should be, in my view, one of the most progressive states in America. It's a working class state. It's a young state, strong Latino population, strong Black population. And how the Democratic leadership in Texas, and it's changed, by the way, it has changed, but the Democratic leadership previously in Texas was pathetic. I've been there several times, but I think things are changing. And I think they're getting their act together. And I think there's no reason why Texas should not be a progressive state.
I mean, there you have it. Who am I to argue with that? The man's a genius. He's Bernie Sanders, after all. When has he ever been wrong about it? Oh, that's right. Well, we'll see.